Unlocked, The Mansion of Mana is a game for 1 to 5 players, ages 12 and up, and takes about 60 minutes to play. In this game, each player takes on the role of a young wizard who never realized his abilities until his or her great uncle went missing. Then his 8 butlers sent out some mysterious invites. On the promise of fame or fortune, we set off to find Uncle Alfie. Each player is given 4 cards to start the game and chooses a token color. The modular game board is set up based upon the number of players. In our setup, we are going to assume 2 players. Next, we need to create the river. The river is the size of the number of players plus 1. So, for 2 players, that is 3. So we take the top 3 cards from the top of the draw deck and place them next to the draw deck. The first player begins Phase 1, Key Activation. First, he checks if he has any keys active. Since this is the first round, no keys are active. Phase 2 begins immediately. Draw runes. He can either draw all 3 runes from the draw deck, or any combination of 2 from the draw deck, River of Mana, or the top of the discard pile. He takes 2 from the river. Now, Phase 3 begins. Play cards. The first player is able to make a key, so he plays the runes down in order to make a key. When making a key, the runes are discarded, and then a token of the player's color is placed on the ready location of the key. The player then looks at the key's activation timing icons in the lower right. This key can be used immediately, and he uses it to complete any other key of his choice. He chooses the Angel Key, which is a continuously active key protecting him from being stolen from. Now, Phase 4 begins. Meditation, which is really your cleanup phase. First, discard down to your hand limit, which is 5. Since our player is well under that, he is fine. The river is updated by shifting all of the runes down the river, moving away from the deck, and then placing new cards to replace the ones that were drawn. And now, the player tells the next player that their turn is able to begin. Okay, let's watch the process one more time. Our next player follows the same phases, but the details will be slightly different. Phase 1 begins the same as before. This is the first round, so no keys activate for her. Phase 2 begins. Draw runes. She decides to risk it and takes all 3 from the draw pile. This gives her a bonus card from taking right from the source. She proceeds to Phase 3, Play cards. She plays a special card, Stealing, which allows a player to take a card from the top of the draw deck, the top of the discard pile, another player's hand, another player's key, or the river. She chooses to take the top card from the discard pile. She uses that new rune and several from her hand to build a key. This key indicates that the key is active only at the beginning of her turn, so she cannot use it immediately. And finally, she starts to build another key. However, she is unable to complete it. She now begins Phase 4, Meditation. Since she is below 5 cards, she does not need to discard any cards. Since she did not take from the river, the card furthest from the draw deck is discarded, and the cards move down. The top of the draw deck is revealed and placed in the location nearest to the draw deck. The game returns to the first player. The game goes back and forth until someone has completed a route from column 1 to column 5. All the while, each player attempts to slow the other down and speed themselves up by using their newly acquired special abilities. The first player to complete the route saves Uncle Alfie, becomes his apprentice, and is declared the winner.